Las Vegas, I am headed to Resorts World Theater September 27th and 28th. 2 shows only. Go to burtburtburt.com for tickets.
Did it to yourself. You did it to yourself.
Why would you say that?
Why would you
I'm
say that?
sweating right now. That's so mean.
That's not mean.
So mean. Hey guys, make sure to check out the Bert and LeeAnn bundle, the best of both worlds bundle at burtburtburt.com for $40 today.
That's right. Check out the best of both worlds bundle with Bert and LeeAnn stuff starting today, $40 a bundle. It's interesting that you say that because I do think you definitely do that. And you do that in a lot of places where you see kind of what you want to see, but not the whole picture.
Jalapenos are my worst. No, I'm being serious.
It's probably your clearest.
Yeah.
The one that you can identify the easiest.
They get jalapenos in those banh mi salads, and I see them, and I pretend I don't see them, and I eat them. And then I'm sick the next day.
And then you go, oops, I victimized myself, but I'm the victim of they slipped them in.
Do you know what I had? One time I said to myself, I saw the jalapenos, and I saw my fork go into the pork, and a little bit of the salad, and 2 jalapenos, and I pretended not to see them, and then I put it in my mouth, and I heard myself say to myself, "There's jalapenos in here? Oh, there's jalapeno. Like, the fuck's wrong with me?"
I don't know. That
the only times it's like, and you know, I'll tell you when it happens to me drinking, and I only remember this happening one time specifically. I mean, I'm sure it's happened before. When Dad and I went to go play golf in just recently, and he had eaten too many edibles, and I was just like, I was frustrated. Because I was like, you know, I thought we were supposed to be playing golf, and now we're really dealing with your buzz because you're too high. And I was like, fuck it, I'm going to get a beer. And we hit the back 9, and I got a beer. And I had like 2 beers, and I didn't really even feel them. I mean, maybe I felt them a little bit, but I just was like, they were actually really enjoyable beers. They were really, because it was hot as shit. It was like fucking Coors Lights. So refreshing. And by the way, we have like 5 holes left, maybe 4 holes left. And I have 4 beers left. And I heard myself say, what are we doing here? Are we going to get after it or are we going to get after it? And I was like, well, I don't know. You just had 2 beers. You feel great. You feel awesome. I was like, all right, let's have another beer. And then my brain's like, but you feel awesome right now. Like there's no, you know what day I did it perfect when we did that TV show and they made me a drink and I didn't drink it. And then I was like, I'm done. And I was like, but I don't do that all the time. I mean, alcohol's the one thing, because I just won't drink. I always eat, and I always do it with food.
Do you do it outside? Do you do it in relationships?
How so?
Like, do you only hear a part of a conversation you want to hear and not take in the other part of it? Like if someone's giving you bad news, do you just go, well, I'm not going to look at that jalapeno?
No.
Okay.
I guess you have an answer.
No, I don't have an answer. I just am curious how you see.
Like I'll tell you a perfect cheat thing is like these. I was very strict on keto, and I would never have eaten these before because I go, there's a cheat code in this. I know that it says it's keto and that it's protein, but I know that there's not. So it's not good.
It's too good to be really okay to eat.
I watched this doctor say the other day, I can get you to lose weight in tomorrow. Just eat meat, fish, chicken, eggs. Stay away from, processed foods, anything in a package, fucking rice, pasta, bread. Stay away from those and you'll lose weight. And that's when I lost all my weight, was when I just was so strict. But being so strict is so not fun.
No, it's not fun at all.
It really is like, it almost becomes like a task. And then I start going, so what am I living for? Yeah. So like today, when he brought that gin over, and he was like, you've never had a gin martini? There's a weird conversation that goes in my head. And I go, I feel awesome right now. I'm not drinking. I haven't had a drink in a while. And I feel awesome. But part of me goes, well, I'd love a gin martini. And I just to taste it. But that's not really why. I mean, actually, I really do kind of want to taste a dry gin martini. Like the way he was pitching it. But I'm salivating right now talking about it.
A gin martini makes you salivate?
I want a gin martini. The way ice cold gin, ice cold cup, ice cold vermouth. Pour the vermouth around the cup. Throw out the vermouth in the cup. Take a twist of lime. Express it over the gin. Rub the rim of the glass. And he's like, you can only have 2. And I was like, the fuck I could.
You mean in the first hour?
I think I'm a romantic.
You are a romantic. You do romanticize things. And you do sometimes see and hear what fits your agenda.
Yeah.
And what fits your agenda may not be the whole picture. It may be part of the picture. It's the picture that fits your agenda. I notice that in relationships sometimes with, if I see you in an argument with one of our kids where I go, he's not taking in this one piece of information and she's saying it very clearly, but he's not taking it. It happens with me and you too. So it's interesting that you can identify that with food or with alcohol, with those types of behaviors, but you don't see it in like conversations or in taking information. Especially if you believe some A and someone's going A, but there's also B and C, you sometimes aren't going to hear B and C. You'll hear A. And I go, but B and C, and they'll have to be very fact-based. If you're in your feelings,
if I'm in my feelings, it's shit
A,
show.
And only A.
If I'm in feelings, I often think people are teaming up on me.
And, even if it's just one person.
I feel like you're teaming up on me. It's just you.
Exactly. And then I can't get you to accept any other piece of information, even if it's factual information, like, hey, it's 10 and we were supposed to be there at 9. That's a fact. Like if whatever that, we've never really had an argument like that, but you know what I mean? If there's a fact where I go, here's a fact, and you'll somehow figure out a way to discount that fact to continue to keep us in A. And I'm like, well, I have no leg, buddy. I'm trying to give you to make you feel better.
This show's not about fixing me. It's about fixing your listeners.
No, it's not. It's true.
Your listeners have.
Did we get a little too deep?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I feel like
you started it with the jalapenos.
I started feeling like I know the feedback I get from people the most is like, hey, thanks for talking about that. Mm-hmm. I mean, like the positive feedback I get the most.
From the Q&A?
No, or just anything. And just like, the young lady talked to me about, thanks for talking about having OCD. Like I regret, I'm glad I've shared it.
Yeah.
But if I could do it all over again, I would have stayed like a closed book and never told anyone my stuff and just been unique.
Why?
And have people not know where my new uniqueness comes from and just be like different.
Oh, I don't think you need to worry about that. You're pretty fucking unique. I don't think that talking about OCD has made you less unique. I think talking about OCD has actually made you more human to people, not necessarily less unique.
I know, but I feel like I've shared too much. Like I have so much vulnerability out there that like...
People know more than you would like them to?
Maybe people know. I don't mind people knowing this. But it's like, I don't mind, but I feel like people know more about me than they should know. I don't think people are supposed to do this.
I don't know if you know how to be any other way.
I don't.
You can learn a new way.
What's that?
And decide not to be like that anymore.
And then what do I talk about?
The weather.
I think that's my thing is I don't know. Let's take a caller. I'll overshare in a second. You tell me your issue and I'll overshare mine.
Okay.
Go ahead. Let's do LeeAnn, it's your show. I'm sorry. You want to do this?
Should we take a caller?
Let's do that. That'd be cool.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Do you want to share with people the call-in number?
Okay. Call-in number is 818-949-8536.
Yes, you got it.
Okay. So give us a call, leave us a voicemail, and we will be talking about it. I guess you're part of the show now. Every one of them has been with you.
For real?
Everyone seems
I think you should do one with Georgia.
To like what
I think you should do one with Georgia and Daisy. I think you won't get Isla to do one. I think you should do one with my mom. I think you should do one with Cotty.
Okay.
I think you should do one with Cotty and Sam.
Okay.
Their podcast, I really enjoy their podcast.
It's great.
It's so
called
funny.
Don't Worry About It.
The podcast you did with Cotty I listened to that. Mostly it was about me, but it was really fascinating to hear someone. It was really weird.
Why was it weird?
It was just bizarre.
Why?
I don't know. It just was. All right, first caller.
Well, hey, LeeAnn. My name is Cody, and I just had a question about, I was wondering about, like, what's your advice on long-distance parenting? my daughter is 13 and she lives in Montana and I live here in San Diego. Oh, what's your advice? I've been listening to your book club, and I love when you talk about parenting and the challenges that go along with that. So thank you. I appreciate that. Just recently took part in the 5K that you guys did. Thank you. What a great event that was.
That's so cool.
Cody. That was great.
That was awesome, Cody. So long distance parenting. My parents divorced. My dad lived an hour from my mom, which is not the same as Montana and San Diego. However, the things that were important to me as a child, I'll talk about that because I haven't really parented long distance. I guess we could consider you kind of long distance.
I was about to say, I feel like
you could speak to it maybe in that way, but for when I was a child, my dad called me, and back in the 70s, you couldn't just call somebody anytime. It was always long distance. My dad called me every Wednesday at 7:00, and he never, ever missed, and he was never late. If my dad was picking me up, he never missed, and he was never late. And if something happened, he let me know. And when I was with him, because I wasn't with him all the time, I was really important to him. So even though he still worked, he just kind of, because he had the luxury of having a life, when I wasn't there, when I was there, I was the life. So I wouldn't say it was perfect by any means or that my dad was perfect, but I know that those very simple commitments, being a person of your word, showing up when you say you're going to show up, and really being plugged in and present made it, that was probably the most important things as a child to receive from a parent who lived a long distance away. When he was with me, he was interested in what I was doing when I wasn't with him. He remembered what we talked about between visits and would ask more questions about it. He was curious I was a big reader. He always asked me what I was reading and asked me to really talk about it.
Hi, girl, what you reading?
He'd go, "What you reading this week, girl?" And I'd tell him. And I don't know, being super interested in my life and who I was, and and being plugged in. Again, it is a luxury as a parent who was a parent 24/7. It's a luxury to plug in every other weekend and for 3 months in the summer. It's a lot easier, I think, to do that in some ways than it is to be a parent who's present all the time. So, but what my dad did with that time was really important. So that when I was away from him, I missed him, obviously, but I never felt disconnected, and I never really felt neglected or forgotten ever from my dad. I just missed him. So that would be my advice, is that when you are, be a person of your word, and obviously you can't help if your flight's delayed or canceled. That's not your fault. But communication is really, for kids, especially kids of divorce. I don't know what your situation is, but when a divorce happens, it's a kind of a fracture and there's damage, and the kid thinks it's their fault. So if you don't show up on time, my automatic reaction was, I did something wrong. This is because I'm bad. But obviously that's not true. And as an adult, you go, that's ridiculous. But I've read a bunch of books on divorce, and that's just kind of standard how kids think, is they think that my parents broke up because of me, and now if dad's not plugged in, it's because of me. So really making your kids feel like you're plugged in and present and interested, I think, is the best way to parent from long distance. What do you think, babe?
Well, I was a long distance parent. I'm still am kind of, now the girls are college. I gotta be honest with you, my relationship with Georgia got better the less we saw of each other. Like towards the end, like her from like 14 to 18, when she went to college, all of a sudden we got really close. And I did something that I think affected that change. Is I set an alarm on my phone to every day to text the girls, just text them something Just text them something. Hey, love you. Thinking about you. Just, hey, what are you doing? And I also track the girls on Life 360. So and it's crazy. I'd be like, well, you're at the river, huh? Like, but I think those little things, I mean, here's the deal is, I mean,
it's that connection.
There's the truth is, and I'm speaking from your experience because I was on the road, you're getting to live a pretty amazing life without having to parent 24/7. I mean, you get to do what you want to do almost, let's just say, sometimes 100% of the week, but say out of 1 month, probably 70% of the month, it is on your schedule, and you get to live like a crazy life and stack cash and work hard and save up for trips you can take with your daughter. And that was the way I looked at the road, but you also get to go do cool things like stay out until 2 and not have to wake up early on the weekends. You know, like there's certain things that a 24/7 parent has to do that you don't have to do. The thing is, you got to let that kid know. This is what I felt when I was on the road. Because I remember Georgia one time saying, what do you know? All you do is party. Like all you do is go on the road and party. That was when I was on Travel Channel. And I was like, oh, they think I'm just not thinking about them. They think I'm gone and not thinking about them. That's horrible. I would hate for them to think that I was just doing fun shit and going like, yeah, I'm not thinking about my kids. So like little things that are connective tissues. I bought them snow globes everywhere I went. And I come home with snow globes. I always bought them presents. And I started texting like crazy. And now I text almost too much. Like they don't even reply anymore. But just little things to tie in. Make it a fun game. Make it a fun game between you and your daughter. Like, you know, every time we see a punch buggy, you know, shoot me a text. Or anytime you see something, anytime there's something you like and I see it, I'm going to text you a picture of that. Just so that it's like always connected. I think that's the most important thing for probably a kid. I can't say about that because my parents stayed together, but for most of the part. But for the parent to feel that connection, that was really important to me.
Well, also to be patient. I think I love everything you said, by the way. I think to be patient too with your kid. I know I had feelings I didn't understand because my dad was gone, and my dad kind of just left me the space to have them when I was little. I think that's important too. You're not there all day, every day. They may show up in the middle of something, a drama at school, a drama with the other parent that you're not privy to because you're not there all the time. To be curious about what's going on.
Yeah,
all the time. Curiosity is your friend.
Listen, if LeeAnn's dad could do it in the 70s and do a good job, it's very achievable.
He was pretty awesome.
He is still awesome, but he is the last guy reading a self-help book.
Yeah,
he is the last guy going to therapy.
No.
He's the last guy going to a dentist or a doctor. He is the last guy doing any of that shit. So I think is just love the fuck out of that kid. Let that love swell and let that kid see how much, like send her a fucking video. You do something cool. Yo, I'm at the beach. Baby, I miss you. I wish you could be here with me. Listen, when I see you next week, let's plan a trip for me and you this summer. I want you to think about it. I want us to, and then, you know, planning shit. I love planning shit. And that's what I do with my girls is like we plan trips. Like, and I'm kind of an absentee father. And so not absentee is not the right, you're not an absentee father.
No.
But I'm not saying it to him. I may be, but.
No, you're not an absentee father.
I'm a divorce.
I'm a long distance father.
I'm a long distance dad.
Well, something else that just came to mind.
And lose weight, man. Stay on that thing. No, I'm being serious.
Yeah, 5K,
Stay on that fucking path, that 5K path.
Yeah.
Get healthy as shit because that is another thing that when your kids see you doing good, like, and they go, yo, you look great. I'm proud of you. That shit fucking resonates. That's an investment in that bank.
Well, I think too, another thing I thought of when you were talking, Bert, is that my dad is very routine oriented, right? And he's like super routine oriented.
That is such an undersell.
Well, I mean, he is.
Her dad wakes up every morning and starts walking until he shits.
Yep.
And then after that, he goes out.
No, he has 1 cup of coffee and then walks till he shits.
By the way,
second cup of coffee.
Let's just be very clear. It is a certain type of coffee. He will not drink bean coffee.
No. Yep. It's Maxwell House for Folgers.
Yeah.
And he has like 4 teaspoons of sugar. It's the same. But in parenting, that kind of predictable routine is really awesome for a kid to slide into. And my dad did not have the money to take us on trips. Like Bert was talking about, plan a trip with your kid. My dad didn't plan trips, but my dad had like I knew Friday night we had pizza. Friday night was pizza night. So he'd pick me up Friday at 3:00.
Mm-hmm.
I knew we were having pizza Friday night. Every Saturday night, we watched Saturday Night Live.
Real quick. I don't not to interrupt. I barely ever interrupt people these days. But find a show to get into with your daughters.
That's a great
that was a
idea.
big one. We were Umbrella Academy.
Yes, but that's right.
Find a show to get into with your daughter, and let her explain it to you. Even if you don't understand it, like even if you do understand it, like that's the funnest. Is like Georgia would break down Umbrella Academy for
and
me.
then if your kid's in Montana and you're in San Diego, you can watch a show and then talk about it. But yeah, my dad was pizza on Friday night, Saturday Night Live on Saturday night, and I got Baskin Robbins on Sunday. Now, how much is that in dollar amount today? Maybe $20, maybe $25. It's something that almost any family can do, is to come up with some traditional, even if it's a McDonald's and a Baskin Robbins. That meant a lot to me because I knew what I was getting when I showed up, and I knew it was going to be the same. If we did something special, of course, that's great. But that kind of routine of knowing what I get when I get there meant a lot to me.
It's a great answer. That's a great answer. I think we really killed this question.
Yeah, I did.
I think we nailed it.
I did.
I really think we did a great job.
Yeah.
Great job, guys. Great
Big
job.
team.
Great job.
Big team.
Great job. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, Cody. If you're like me and are always on the hunt for products that genuinely improve your life, then listen up. Lumi was created by an OBGYN who saw firsthand how normal BO was being misdiagnosed and mistreated. Clinically proven to block odor all day and control odor for up to 72 hours. After many requests, they've formulated a new product to keep you smelling fresh and help you stay drier. Lumi Whole Body Deodorant plus Sweat Control. The same 72-hour odor control, now with 72-hour sweat control. 72-hour odor and sweat control for pits, privates, and beyond. I love Lumi. I always talk about this, but it's really my favorite thing is their deodorant wipes. I love them. I work out 3 times a week, and I always have those wipes in my bag. A quick swipe, and I know I can make it through the day without offending anybody. I love them. Lumi's starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, like the deodorant wipes or mini body wash, and free shipping. As a special offer for listeners, new customers get 15% off all Lumi products with our exclusive code. And if you combine the 15% off with the already discounted starter pack, that equals over 40% off their starter pack. Use code WIFE15 for 15% off your first purchase at lumideodorant.com. That's code WIFE15 at LumiDeodorant.com. Wife of the Party is sponsored by DraftKings. In a world of slot reels and blackjack deals comes the must-play event of the summer from DraftKings Casino, featuring nonstop action and an all-star cast of games, including A-Lister, Loki's Luck. This summer blockbuster is one you won't want to miss. Bert and I were in Vegas the other day, and he wanted to play roulette with me, and I don't really know how to play roulette. So guess what I did? I went on DraftKings, and I started playing roulette because what better way to learn when you're not in front of a bunch of people? You don't ever want to feel like you don't know what you're doing. So for me, the best way to learn how to play and have fun in Vegas was to play on DraftKings. So I could, get some hours under my belt there with roulette. Plus, new players can get $100 instantly in casino credits with just a $1 wager, and all players get a blockbuster bonus every week. So sign up with code WOTP and grab your popcorn. It's showtime on DraftKings Casino.
Hey, LeeAnn, it's Ryan. First of all, congratulations on all your success, you and Bert and the family. You guys really deserve it. I wanted to call because I know that you've talked a lot about your relationship with your mom and how for a long time you felt that who you are is wrong. And I grew up feeling very similar. I grew up in a house, there's a lot of substance abuse, mostly alcohol. I was ignored a lot growing up. I was abandoned a lot, and dealing with that, I have a lot of self-esteem issues now, and I'm 29. I suspect that a lot of that is tied to that time in my life, and I'm a very successful guy. I've done a lot in my community. I've saved lives. I'm well respected. So just the feeling of feeling enough and feeling that I could be loved for all of who I am, I really, really struggle with that. Because on paper, you know, I feel useful. I feel kind, that I contribute to my corner of the world, but the feeling itself, like I am enough. And that's, you know, somebody would want to spend the rest of their life with me. The feeling just doesn't exist. There's just nothing there. I wanted to know if there was anything that you integrated that helped you get to where you are now. But thank you.
Aw. Well, wow. I will say, I'm going to get really emotional. Oh my God. I will say this. That is a lesson constantly learned. So to think it's just going to go away is maybe an incorrect way of thinking about that. I think what you have to learn to do is manage it. Because I feel oftentimes that same little girl I felt like when I was 6, 7, 8, 9 years old. But it's really what I had to do was learn that it's a lie and that it's not true. That feeling that I'm not enough, that I don't deserve to be happy, that I'm inherently bad, that
you're unlucky.
I'm unlucky, that I am last, always last, that I am invisible, that I am, I don't know that I feel that I'm not enough anymore, but I sometimes feel like no matter what, it doesn't matter. Because I felt like with my mom, no matter what I did, it didn't matter. So I don't think that ever really goes away. I think if you adjust your expectation of what that is, it'll help you move past it, right?
Maybe not your expectation.
Well, if he's expecting for it to go away.
No, but I think it's less about your expectation. And I'm just saying for you, witnessing you. And I know I've seen this rear its head in your life a few times, a lot actually. And it's almost like you just got to recognize that that's that thing creeping up. Mm-hmm. Recognize that shadows are shadows. There's no one inside it. Mm-hmm. It's just a shadow. Mm-hmm. And that you're familiar with those shadows, and those shadows scared you when you were a kid, but they're still just shadows. When you were a kid, you thought there were people in there, and they're not real. But they're still shadows, and you recognize those shadows. Because I see you do this a lot in life, where you say things like I remember you. I remember all of this. Who am I to deserve that? Mm-hmm. Who am I to get? Why would anyone care about me? Mm-hmm. Well, what? They don't even care. They didn't even. I mean, I don't want to get in details because it's very specific. I don't have a lot. I have low self-esteem, but I don't have that. Mm-hmm. Like I always felt like I deserved to get love. I just was like, there's not going to be someone out there that figures this out. Like no one's gonna settle for this. No one's gonna look at this and go, yeah, I'm up for that task. No one's like, I just want to see what Antarctica's like. But I think you have to realize there's what, 4 billion people in the world? Mm-hmm. Just based on numbers, and this is real simple, there's probably, I'm guessing, 500 million people who would feel the luckiest person in the world to be with you. And so then if you start breaking down the numbers, you got to realize easy in your hometown, wherever you live. And I'm just assuming he lives in Omaha. I don't know why. I'm just assuming he lives in the middle of the country. Mm-hmm. The way he said, I do a lot for my community. Mm-hmm. Like no one says that in LA because we don't have a community. But like, I go, there's got to be 10,000 women that would fucking die. Now, out of that 10,000, there's 1,000 that you would want to fuck. Now, out of that 1,000 that you would fuck, there's probably 500 that you'd have a happy life with. But out of that 500, there's solid 250 women that are your soulmate. There are 250 women. So next time you go through the mall, realize you're walking past at least 10 women you could fucking spend the rest of your life with and be happy. And that would be lucky to have you. I always do math like that. Like I always think, and now those math numbers are fucking jaded like wildly. But I think you're better at saying this, but like you got to recognize that that's just old fucking behaviors.
Well, I think it is. That's true. I think part of what I started doing, maybe this is helpful, is I started asking the universe to give me what I deserved. And then when something would show up, I'd have to accept it because it was sent to me, right? It wasn't, for me to frame like I'm going to go get that because I deserve it didn't work for my genetic makeup. But what did work was asking, what do I deserve? And have it show up and to say what I deserved in some way, like I deserve to feel happy every day. And how does that show up? And to start kind of believing in the magic of the universe, right? Because the universe doesn't give you something you don't deserve. That's how I had to start reframing it. Now, I was not, and I don't think I was ever able to really get down into like, I am enough. And another thing of the I am not enough piece, at least for me anyway, which maybe sounds like is for you as well, for the caller, is that you just try so much harder to be a good person. And if you grow up with people who tell you you're a bad person, my mom told me very often how bad I was. I was bad. I was just bad at everything I tried to do, a bad behavior, bad ethics. And I didn't think I was. I still don't think I was. I think that she was very troubled and didn't know how to deal with someone who didn't do exactly what she wanted them to do all the time. So I over-tried in some ways to be a good person. And the good news about that is I think I am a really good person. I'm not perfect, but I think as a human being, I'm a pretty good human being. And I believe that is because I made sure I would not be like the people in my life I thought were not very good human beings. So if that applies to you, you can take that as a little feather in your cap to know that you really are good enough in some ways because you know what not good enough really looks like. Or good enough's a weird term. I don't know that I even like that term, but
you have to also remember the thing you think you want may not be the thing you want.
That is the truth. The thing you think you want is not what you maybe really want. That is very true because before I met you, I was dating very different guys than you. And then when you showed up, I was like, interesting. This is not like, this is the core value system is actually exactly what I was looking for. The package, the comic, the take your shirt off, no shoes, even though you weren't really taking your shirt off much when we dated, it's still the same person.
Yeah.
It's kind of really out there,
Speedos,
not buttoned up,
muscular.
A complete slob, like totally not organized. Well, that I was dating already, but because I was enough.
That's mean.
That's not mean. Why did you put it in there? No, but the things that I thought was what I wanted or deserved or needed. You did it to yourself. You did it to yourself.
Why would you say that?
Why would you say that?
I'm sweating right now. That's so mean.
It's not mean.
So mean.
You know what's mean? I'll tell you what's mean is thinking I would date some small dick person. That's mean. That's mean to assume that I would just settle for some small dick guy. Yes.
No,
yes,
hold on.
Yes.
Hang on.
See, now you're only listening to A.
No,
you gotta listen to B also.
We're going to have to edit this fucking podcast. I am the biggest dick you've ever dated.
In so many ways. Yes. In so many ways.
I dated girls with huge vaginas.
Did you fall into them?
No,
Is that what happened? You just fell right into them.
I did. Move
I don't think a huge vagina.
All right, next. No, go ahead. Finish your fucking statement about being a not enough. And by the way, you feel like not enough to me right now, okay?
Oh, aren't you glad you don't feel not enough to me?
I'm ready to have a drink. I'm ready to have a drink and a fucking jalapeno. Pete, where are the Zins? Thank you. That was fucking perfect timing.
Anyway, yeah, I think I guess to answer your question, I don't know if it ever goes away. It really is how you manage it that matters. And managing, some of the ways I manage it is I go to gratitude and I sit in what I have today that I'm really grateful for. And gratitude just draws more things to you to be grateful for. To be open to ask the universe kind of, what do I need in my life? What do I need in my life to be happy, to feel complete, to feel fulfilled, to feel enough? And just ask for it to show up. And then when you do that, you have to really pay attention to what is showing up. You can't, it's that old adage where the guy was drowning and a boat came by to pick him up and he's like, no, God will save me. And so he left and another boat came, God will save me. And so he left and the guy drowns when he gets to heaven. He's like, why didn't you save me? And he goes, well, who do you think sent the boats? But that adage is true for life. If you just pay attention to the subtleties in life, you'll be surprised how the universe shows up for you. So I don't know. I hope that was helpful.
I hope it was too. And I hope that you enjoyed the fact that LeeAnn says she dates big dick guys.
I don't date anybody. I didn't say. Actually.
Stop. No, don't actually anything.
You backed me into it because you were implying.
You're going to make me drink tonight. You're going to make me drink tonight.
You were implying.
I wasn't implying you date little dick guys. I was just saying I have a big dick. And you went, well, I'd had bigger or whatever you said.
No, you said, no, that's not what I said. See how you made it up? No. Thank God we recorded it so we can go back. No. I didn't say, well, I've had bigger.
What did she say? Everybody leave it in the comments.
I said, you said I'm the only big dick guy or something like that. And I went, well.
Next caller, everybody.
Hi, LeeAnn. This is Katie. First of all, I'm such a fan of yours and Bert's, and it's just been so neat to follow along your journey from, your first kind of podcast with Jair on to your own podcast. It's just been so neat. My question for you is, I'm a mom. My little one is 3 years old, and I am kind of struggling with what direction I want to take with her as far as introducing religion goes. I was raised Catholic, and I think there's so much beauty that can come with religion, but then there's also a lot of shame and guilt that can kind of come alongside that as well. And I know, I relate to you in that you seem to be a very spiritually grounded person. And yeah, I would love for my daughter to have that someday and have some foundation of faith, but I've been struggling a bit as to the best way to go about that and what that should look like. So anyway, I would love to hear your thoughts, and thanks again, and have a great day.
Wow.
I should answer this. I'm the one that believes in God.
I believe in God.
Whatever.
What are you talking about?
You believe in
God.
In God, yes.
Yes, I believe in God.
I believe in the God, the white one.
What? You are so goofy. I totally believe in God. Her question is, which way do I go? Into religion or not into religion? And I think obviously that's a personal question only she can answer. I'll tell you only what we did is I am not Catholic. I grew up Southern Baptist. I loved what I learned from Southern Baptist Church, but I definitely don't completely line up with Southern Baptist beliefs entirely. And so I didn't feel comfortable putting my kids there. And there's not a lot of Southern Baptist Church in Southern California anyway. And then I don't know anything about Catholicism other than all the bad stuff. And I don't really align with that either. I don't understand how redemption comes from repeating words that other people repeat by rote. I don't understand that. To me, there's no accountability in that. You're just like reciting something instead of saying, please forgive me. I know you do that in confession, but as
being absolved from your sins is so fucking great.
Oh,
it's a good feel. It's like getting a good doctor's checkup.
It's almost like no accountability though.
No.
All you have to do is go, I'm so sorry. And then you're like done. And so I don't understand Catholicism in that way. So I wasn't comfortable taking
the accountability
my kids.
is the shame they give you. Look, shame's not great either. But like there was a thing about trying to be a good kid that you go to church and you're like, I want to be a good kid.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a thing in community and being around people that are all striving to be a little bit better that church provided for me. We went to Catholic church until I was probably, I went all the way up until I was 18 because I went to a all boys Catholic high school.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and not on Sundays, but we had church, we had mass every, I think, Wednesday. We had mass. I mean, you always had the church, so you could go. I know for me, I think churches are beautiful. I think going into a church, it centers me and allows me to have a conversation with God. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know if our daughters have that. We didn't raise our daughters with any denomination. We didn't raise them with any faith, really. I don't know if they know what God is. Like you can say, I believe in God, but both our daughters would adamantly say they do not believe in God.
I don't know. They've never said that to me.
They've said that both to me. They said it to Chad Michael Murray the other day.
Well, they've never said it to me. I don't know that I completely buy that.
Like, for a fact, I feel like I get in touch with God when I'm at church, when I'm at a church.
Mm-hmm. I do also.
Yeah, and I get in touch with God when I'm in the water.
Mm-hmm.
And I get in touch with God in the outdoors. Like, and I think that is derived from a faith. I would say, listen, I was never around on Sundays, so there was no taking my daughters to church, and I never expected LeeAnn to dress them up and take them out to every church so they could see all the different services that were out there and let them pick for themselves, which I think would be cool, Mm-hmm. And if the child picked no, then that's cool also. But I wish that our daughters had. I mean, to believe in nothing is just like it's like to believe in nothing is wild for me. But like also, I will tell you that. I have to tell you that I feel like a lot of my OCD came from being Catholic. I feel like there's a lot of Catholic people that have rituals that they have to go through. Saying prayers is a ritual. When I was in ninth grade and I started doing bad, I would say the Hail Mary and the Our Father before I went to bed, and I would make me feel better. But I was like, when I was going through my worst part of OCD, I would say the St. Jude prayer. I kept it in my wallet and I'd pull it out and I'd say the prayer. And I don't know if that's super fucking healthy. I don't, but I do love the fact that I do believe in God, and I believe in spirituality, and I believe we're not just here by accident. And that, the other day I had a hard time believing not only that there's nothing when I die, but that there was nothing 5,000 years before I was alive, that I wasn't there. Mm-hmm. Like I have a hard time believing in all that. I've always said this, I would love to be able to be the person who gives himself to Christ and says, Christ is my savior. I'm not that guy. I'm just not, or at least I'm not today, and I wish I could be. But this journey with a child is a somewhat tricky one, because we're of a generation where it was somewhat implemented into us.
Mm-hmm. It is a tricky one.
For good or for bad, but
it is a tricky one. The thing that I don't regret, but the thing that I would have liked for my kids to have experienced is the community that church provides, like you're talking about. That was the best part of church for me growing up. And I've read the Bible cover to cover. I went to church for years, so I was sermonized for years. And when I got to be, and I was young, and then when I got to be a grown up, a lot of I'm so literal. A lot of it just doesn't make sense to me, but I do believe in God. I do believe that we came from God, that God created earth. And so I don't know, it is weird with a child. There's so many pros and cons, and I would like to think you could go to church and with your child and have an open conversation about what was talked about that day in church. So you could say, here's where our value systems are. Here's where they are not. This is how we are.
That would be a cool parent to be.
Aligned, and this is how we are maybe not aligned. And it's a really great microcosm for a child to learn that there are differences in our sameness, right? Because like when I talked about many times bringing our kids back to rural Georgia. Our kids were born and raised in Los Angeles. And for them to go to a town of 1,600 people in rural Georgia where my cousins are like wearing guns on their belts and there's taxidermy in every store you go into is a completely different experience than LA. One's not better than the other. They're just totally different. And both of that's family, right? So the microcosm of our family has such vastly, and then to add your Philadelphia family into the mix of my rural Georgia family is such a great lesson for our kids to see the differences in our sameness. And I think if I decided to take my kids to church, I would like to think that I would have sat down with them and said, let's talk about what we learned today and have it open up a conversation to kind of help steer them in your own value system.
What
right?
The coolest thing you can do as a parent is introduce it to your child, allow them to have opinions about it, hear their opinions out, and respect their opinions, and teach them to respect other people's opinions. That would be the coolest thing you could do as a parent, because I don't think we did that perfectly. And I think our kids, I mean, they would laugh at it, but they went to Catholic high school, and they would just, and every time they just kind of like, I mean, we took them to the Vatican, and I don't think they were as impressed as say I was the first time I went.
Oh, I sobbed. I mean, every time when I lived in New York City, if I felt lost, I would go to St. Patrick's Cathedral, which is a Catholic church. And I don't understand Catholicism, but I would just sit in that space and feel connected to God. I'm the same with you. Nature.
If I see a nun, I get so grounded. If I see a priest, I get so grounded. I see a priest on a plane. I sat next to a priest on a plane one time. I was like, what are you doing in first class? Like, that's my first question. It's about poverty.
Yeah.
And he's like, but I talked to him like I grew up with him.
Yeah.
Like I talked to him like I know him. Like we grew up in the same town.
Yeah.
Like we grew up in the same town, the same community. And he started laughing, and we started talking about what kind of priest he was and when he got into it. Started talking about God. I very quickly started just fucking not confessing, but like opening up about my life. I was so honest, even more so than with a therapist at times. And I think I definitely don't think the Catholic Church has been above board. I think they've made some humongous fucking mistakes, and I have a hard time co-signing on the Catholic Church in general. But I can tell you, it provides me a sense of solace at times.
It's definitely not all bad. Just like every other religion is not all good.
Yeah.
But the Catholic Church is pretty fucking bad. But yeah, there's a lot of value to religion. A lot of value. I mean, I had a lot of religion growing up.
You're already in the winning court right now because you're asking and you're thinking about it, which is way more than we did.
Totally.
And I'm telling you. So quite honestly, can we call you in 10 years and find out what you did?
Right.
Because you're already going in the right direction.
I agree. Wife of the Party is sponsored by AquaTrue. If you're like me, you probably don't trust your tap water. That's why you've got to check out AquaTrue. AquaTrue purifiers use a 4-stage reverse osmosis purification process, and their countertop purifiers work with no installation or plumbing. It removes 15 times more contaminants than ordinary pitcher filters. And they have water purifiers to fit every type of home, from installation-free countertop purifiers to higher capacity under-sink options. They even have a Wi-Fi connected purifier and mineral boost options. It's the same technology used by all the major bottled water brands, but now it's available for your home and without the plastic waste. The filters are affordable and long-lasting. No changing filters every 2 or 3 months. AquaTrue filters last from 6 months to 2 years. And best of all, for me anyway, when I walk by our countertop filter, it reminds me to drink water. It's such a great visual reminder to fill up that water bottle and keep yourself hydrated. AquaTrue comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee and even makes a great gift. Today, my listeners receive 20% off any AquaTrue purifier. Just go to aquatrue.com, that's AQUATRU.com, and enter code WIFE at checkout. That's 20% off any AquaTrue water purifier when you go to aquatrue.com and use the code WIFE. No summer is complete without a killer barbecue. Elevate your next cookout or get cooked whenever you want with Via. Trusted by over 500,000 happy customers for their wellness needs, Via is the brand everyone's raving about. So if you're 21 plus, check out our link to Via's website in our description for 15% off. Unlock the power of nature this summer with Via's organic and vegan hemp extracts, perfect for relaxation and rejuvenation. Via is the only lifestyle hemp brand. They use compounds found in hemp along with active plant extracts to create products, each with a specific effect in mind. Whether you want to get better sleep, ease anxiety, or enhance your mood, they have something for you. They also have 0 THC products. If THC isn't for you, you can still take advantage of their CBD line with products designed for sleep, focus, and energy that will keep you glowing all summer long. I am a little THC sensitive, to be honest with you, but CBD, I'm down. And what better sleep? I get so much better sleep with just a little help. And, it's natural. It's a natural product. I am a big fan. If you're 21 plus, check out the link to Via in our description and use the code WIFE to receive 15% off. After you purchase, they ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them Wife of the Party sent you. Unleash the green and live the American dream with Via. Should we do next caller?
Yeah.
Longtime listener and watcher of Wife of the Party. I had a question, just maybe some advice. So I'm in my 20s. I have one of my girlfriends that, you ride or die for, as we say. What do you do when one of your really good longtime friends is really heartbroken because her boyfriend cheated on her and it's been going on a long time and she, got a dog, rented an apartment, all these things with him, and he's been cheating on her. And she calls me crying, and of course the first reaction as her best friend is I'm gonna kill that guy. Where's my baseball bat? I'll go hurt him right now. But she's more almost asking if I'd actually ruin his life, get him fired because he slept with his coworkers who he's cheating on, and he works at an old folks home, and he still smokes weed and all these things, and almost kind of eggs you on. And you almost want to do it because this guy hurt your friend. But at the same time, I don't know. I want to, but it's none of my business. How do you handle that kind of situation, especially since your daughters are teenagers and I'm in my 20s? So anyway, love the podcast. Can't wait till you adopt me. Bye.
Well.
Oh, I love this. Can you FaceTime me next time you do this and I would love to hear. There is nothing more painful than being cheated on. Mm-hmm. There is nothing. It is fucking.
It's the worst.
It's. They say that. I remember because I was cheated on. I remember. And by the way, I cheated on almost every girl I ever dated. So, but it was fun when you do it.
Do you know why you cheated on everybody you ever dated?
I was waiting for you.
Because you had such a big dick.
I remember the one thing one
that
of my buddies
didn't redeem anything.
No, it didn't. one of the I'm gonna post that picture of my dick today on Instagram.
You're gonna spite post it?
Yeah, I'm gonna spite post it. One of the things that I remember one of my moron friends said is he said, worse than death, rejection by your peers is the worst pain you can feel. And he goes, and that from a girlfriend, it's got to be even worse.
It's even worse, yeah.
I was like, oh my God, so this is worse than death?
It is. It's awful. It's such a betrayal. And it's so avoidable. Just freaking break up with them.
Okay, well, he didn't do that.
No, I know.
Yeah.
But my point is, anybody listening who's thinking of cheating, just fucking do yourself a solid.
This is what I would do.
Break up.
This is what I would do. I would let her, this is me. I'm not the right person. I'm a Scorpio. I would hear her out. And let her plan out that bank robbery top to bottom and corroborate with her and get in her head and then point out every now and then, this is fucking crazy talk, right? We can't do this. But then I privately, next time I saw him in person, I would casually say the things to let him lay in panic.
Oh my God.
I would casually plant yeah, you fucked up.
I would not do any of this.
This is my answer.
Yes.
You be the guy. I'll be her. okay? And we'll say that my best friend was cheated on, and you be the guy, okay? And I see you at a bar.
Okay.
Ready? And your name is let's say his name is Halston, okay?
Okay.
So you'll be Halston,
Okay.
and I'll be the. Let's not do that because then Halston's like, wait, I don't cheat. Don't say my name. You be Rick, okay? And I'll be. Let's call her
Marcy.
Marcy, okay? Rick.
Hey, Marcy, what's up?
Well, it's as you know, Rick. It's it's a little wild. You really messed with Jennifer.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that you
What do you mean?
It's crazy that you do stuff like that. I always thought you're smarter, sleeping with a coworker, doing drugs at an old age house. That puts you in a really precarious situation. If anyone was to leave a call, you'd be out of a job in a heartbeat. Anyway, it was great seeing you, Rick. Have a great time tonight. And tell, what's that whore's name you're dating?
Oh my God.
Tell her I said go fuck herself. And you're lucky, Rick. You're lucky. Unless I get really drunk one night, Rick, and leave a fucking phone call and ruin your life.
Oh my
and then
God.
let him lay in bed with that. Oh, the worst punishment you can ever allow someone is territory in their brain. You take real estate in their brain and let Rick sit up all night long thinking about what he did. Fuck. You do. That is the worst punishment you can give Rick.
Oh my God.
That's me.
I just don't think like that.
I know,
would
but
never
me and her
think to do
roommate
that.
do.
I would never think like that. I think you're right on. I think it's none of your business, unfortunately.
It is
But
none of your business. That's the real answer.
here's the thing about friendship, right? If you're really her ride or die, you just have to listen to her, process it, and it'll probably be a long time.
This is the right answer.
And
And can I just tell you real quick? Jump in, because I had a friend who helped me go through a breakup, a really nasty breakup, and he was there for me until I was done talking about it.
that's what I mean. That's what I mean. You
Yeah.
have to be there till they're done talking about
Because
it.
that's what ride or dies do.
That's what ride or dies do. And you'll get exhausted and it'll get old. It'll be too much. And you turn to another friend and go, oh my God, I can't. Yeah, you don't need to tell them details.
Yeah.
You can go to another friend and say, I have a friend that's really struggling with something and it's a lot for me. Like it's a lot. And rely on your other friends to help you through being that friend for your friend who was cheated on. Because at the end of the day, you can't, I mean, you can do whatever you want. You're a grown up, but how it's not going to change that guy to do anything like that. He's going to keep doing that bullshit. And you have to look at it like maybe it was a blessing. Maybe it was a gift that he got himself out of your life or her life. And now he wasn't right for you anyway, because if he's cheating on you now, he's definitely going to cheat on you later. Wouldn't you rather know now before you're married with kids? Hell yeah. So thank you, universe or whatever, for showing me who he really is now and let him move on out. Godspeed. You know what? Lightning will strike him on his own time.
She's going to look back and remember these days fondly. I look back at the days when after I was cheated on fondly, and I go, tell her a story about a guy named Bert who got cheated on and it changed his life for the better. Everything is a blessing. Everything is a blessing. This guy leaving her is an absolute blessing.
Absolutely.
Sounds like he's a piece of garbage to begin with.
Totally. Works in an old folks home.
Smokes weed and he's fucking
smokes
another
weed?
lady that's fucked. He's
No.
not, by the way, he's not looking for love. He's just looking for pussy. If he was looking for love,
Apparently.
he wouldn't have fucked his coworker.
Yeah.
Okay. And he is probably.
Or guess what? What if he is in love with his coworker and they get married and they live together forever and they're super happy? Wouldn't you want that for another human being? His method is totally wrong. He should have just broken up with your
He's
friend
a coward.
and moved on. He's a coward.
I was a coward. Every time I cheated,
He's
I was a coward. I didn't have the
total
balls to tell
coward.
someone, I'm not into this anymore. I'm moving on to the next thing. This is what Bert does for Bert. Bert is the only person that's on this ship, and we're going to make sure Bert's happy. It's a very selfish thing to do, but people do it, and then it will happen to him. I guarantee you it will happen to him, and he will look back and go, wow, that was a bullshit thing I did.
Yeah. But I would not act on anything.
Don't act
on any revenge.
Don't buy an ounce of marijuana and send it to his office and go, this is for the fucking whore who can't keep his dick in his pants, who's fucking his coworker, and then go, you guys do the math.
Oh my God.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
You are so Scorpio.
I'm so fucking vindictive.
Never think of any of this. I just would never would. It would never occur to me to be like that. So I don't know.
I'll tell you a dude who did the right thing, right?
Okay.
I wish I could say this name, because he's a big comedian, married, had a kid, wife cheated on him, and he never ratted her out. We all thought he cheated on his wife. We figured, because he's a comic, he must have cheated on her. And I sat with him in a park in Utah and did a podcast. You can do the math and find out who this is. And I think he'd appreciate this compliment. And in that podcast, I said to him, so what happened with your marriage? And he said, I don't like talking about it, but, we just had different, and I was like, oh, he cheated. And at the end of the podcast, he said, she cheated on me. And I was like, why didn't you destroy her? You could have destroyed her. You have a platform. And he was like, I don't think that's fair. We have a kid. I just thought, it hurt, but I just got through it, and I'm happier now. Dude, Dan Cummings is a badass motherfucker. I love Dan Cummings because of that. That's Dan Cummings.
Right.
I keep his name in because that was so fucking cool of him to do.
Yeah.
To get cheated on and not be vindictive, but to sit with his emotions and go, what's next for Dan Cummings?
Yeah.
By the way, check out his podcast. He's fucking so talented, and he's blowing up, and he's having a much happier, successful, vibrant life, and he's a great dad to his kid. And I think him and his ex probably have a fine relationship. I think he said her new boyfriend's really cool and they all hang out, but like he did the fucking right thing.
Yeah, And maybe it's just, like I was saying to the caller before, sometimes the boat shows up and you don't think it's there to save you. You don't think that's God, but sometimes that's the way the boat shows up. So maybe it's really what's supposed to be happening for her life. As much as it hurts, as much as it sucks, if you frame it that way in your own head, I think it makes it easier to move on because you're not going back to that piece of garbage.
Yeah, sometimes you do.
No, I don't. I would never go
You
back to somebody that cheated on me. No way. So maybe it's a blessing. Maybe support that path instead of let's get him.
I look at the person who cheated on me and I'm very grateful that happened. And I'm very grateful that they chose that path in their life because it forced me into the path I'm on. And I would not have done this on my own. And I'm very, 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 very happy. I said to you in the pool today, I got a text from a chick who was the hottest chick freshman year of college. The hottest fucking chick. I mean.
I'm dying to see what she looked like to see what you thought hot was.
I think you met her.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You definitely met her. You met her.
Was she, okay.
And
I want to know what she looked like in college to know what you thought hot looked like in college.
A lot like you, like dark hair, tiny nose, great teeth,
tiny nose,
piercing eyes. She wasn't like a size queen like you are, but like
right. She wasn't shaped like bow tie pasta.
No, you don't know what size queen means.
No.
Never mind, leave it there.
Oh, is that about your weenus?
My hands are sweating. You got to be there for your friend. What you should do is go out and get a bad haircut and then come home with a bad haircut and be like, oh my God, look at me. And then your friend will be like, thank God that's not me. There's a lot of fun things to do with it.
That's
Take
good.
Take her out to a fucking
Fuddruckers.
Take her out to a Fuddruckers. Take her out to a place take her out to a Dave and Buster's where you're going to find a bunch of average looking dudes and have dudes hit on her. Get her onto Raya or whatever the fuck people do to get laid. Right. Get her, help jumpstart her life. I had a buddy who told me, he goes, I can't help you with feelings, but I can tell you if you drink, it goes away.
Oh my God.
Yeah, thanks, Mike Osborne.
I don't know if that's great advice, but I hope that helped you.
Yeah.
Should we do another one?
Yeah.
Hey, LeeAnn. My name's Kathleen, and I love your podcast, and I love your momming. My question for you is, I lost my mom at a very young age when I was 22, so I know your girls are getting to that age, and if that were come to be, like, what would be the most important things that you would tell them before you left this world? Obviously, that will never happen, but yeah, answer or don't. Thank you so much. Love listening, and rock on, girl.
Oh.
Thank you, Kathleen. I'm sorry that you lost your mom at 22.
Same. Thank you. What would I tell my kids if I knew I was going to pass away? First thing I would do is I would give them my Bible, and I would tell them, even though I think they already know, and for people who don't know what my Bible is, I started collecting sayings and lyrics from songs and poems and just fortune cookies and I don't know, excerpts from books and quotes from famous people and infamous people that I thought was who I wanted to be or how I wanted to represent myself as a human. So it's always been a great place for me to go back to when I feel lost is this book I call my Bible. So I would give them my Bible and I would explain to them how important it was for me to gather all these thoughts and ideas and put them in one place and how important it was for me to be in integrity with that book. Because integrity for me has always been really important. So that book was kind of my touchstone for integrity. I would talk to them probably about happiness and what happiness is and how it's different for everybody and that they are the only person who can determine what makes them happy. And the goal in life should be to be happy, to be of service always in your life, because if you're of service to other people, it keeps you as part of the fabric of the world, right? If you just live your life for yourself, you've disconnected from the world. And I think once you disconnect from the world, you start getting depressed. And so to find some way to be of service to their community, to their family, to something. And I would tell them how much I love their dad, to know how much I love their dad and what a gift this whole life was to me to have come from not this. That's what I would say. What would you say?
I have nothing to say.
You have nothing to say? You'd say.
I've lived my life, and I've lived my life in a way that I think I've given them all the building blocks to know how to live a great life.
You wouldn't tell them anything?
I mean, I don't think you. I mean, if you're saying like I get cancer and I have a month to live, are there some things I'd share? Yeah, have fucking fun. You never know when it's going to end. Have fun. Get out of your room. Have fun. Fucking take some chances. Have fun.
That's great.
Like just have fun. Like it's life's too short. We're only here for a little bit, and if you're not doing the shit you want to do, you're not doing your life. I mean, I look at don't hate anything. Always love things. Don't hate anything. To spend your life in frustration or anger or pity is not a way to live your life. Live your life like I'm very lucky. I don't hate anyone. I don't dislike. I mean, I don't think about disliking anyone. I get to live a beautiful fucking life, and I think they've seen that, and I'm inspired by what I do. I actually thought today, I was like, I wonder if I've wasted my life at all. I wonder if I've wasted my time. I wonder if I've wasted my words. I wonder if I've wasted anything.
Wow. I can't believe you would think that.
I wondered that. I just wondered that in bed. I was like, is there something else I should be doing? I mean, I'm not saying I've done everything in comedy, but I've done a lot in comedy, and I've shared a lot of laughs with people. I don't want to stop doing it. I seem to be good at it. But like, I don't know. I mean, have I inspired anybody? Maybe a few people, but like, how do you take it? How do you take it to the next level? And I think if anyone can look at my life, and I'm just saying, if I die, if anyone can look at my life and just go like, yo, that would be a cool way to do it. Like, just have a lot of fun and smile every day and giggle and find the things you like and go swimming in your pool and don't shower indoors, shower outdoors and work out and bust balls with your friends and keep in touch with your friends and have drinks in the afternoon and
love yourself better than anybody.
Yeah, don't let people's else. I mean, I would say to my girls, don't let people's opinions of you matter. It's what you feel about yourself and the people that love you feel about yourself. Because life is so short. It is so fucking short that I'm certain there will be times when I'm about to die when I think, I bet there's a lot of shit I wish I hadn't done. Like, and it's not going to be like, those things won't be going to Hawaii or going on a bike ride or going for a jog or going into the gym or getting in the pool or smoking a cigar. Those won't be the things. My things will be like, why did I scroll on Instagram at 4 a.m. Why didn't I just get out of bed, make a cup of coffee, and go write in my journal outdoors with the dogs? You know.
That's
I think ultimately the real thing is, make sure that you don't have to tell your kids anything. Show them. Show them. Be an inspiration.
I love that. That's great.
Because if I die tomorrow, I want my girls, and I don't get to say anything, I want my life to speak for itself. And my girls to go, my dad was fucking inspirational as fuck. Like my dad taught me, if he dies tomorrow, I'm good. He doesn't need to say a thing to me.
Right.
I have to say this. This is the most powerful thing that I've ever heard anyone say to their child before they passed. Tommy's dad said to him right before he passed, life goes on. Don't stop. Life goes on. And it does. It's so stupid. Life goes on. It's so stupid that it goes on.
Yeah.
I'm going to die and then everyone will be sad for like a week, maybe a month. But you got to go to work and you got to go back to school and you're going to have to get married and you're going to have to, you can't let that shit define you.
Right.
Just take a look at what that person did and have it inspire the way you want to live your life, you know?
That's a great answer.
Maybe.
That was a great answer.
Yeah.
Celebrate more than 100 years of the world's best steak experience with 50% off site-wide during their anniversary sale. Order today at omahasteaks.com and get an extra $30 off with promo code WIFE at checkout. Minimum purchase may apply. Famously forked tender filet mignon, handcrafted and extra aged to maximize tenderness. You'll enjoy big savings on premium pork and chicken, scrumptious sides, and of course, decadent desserts. 5 generations of family-owned expertise means uncompromising quality you can trust. Every steak and every entree is flash frozen, vacuum sealed, and ready to prepare whenever you are, all backed by their unconditional 100% money-back guarantee. Omaha Steaks equals the world's best beef, naturally aged for the ultimate in tenderness, juiciness, and flavor. So I don't know what you're doing for Labor Day, but wouldn't a box of Omaha Steaks be great? Because you can get steaks, you can get burgers, you can get hot dogs, you can get sides for those burgers, including fries. You can get all the dessert you want for your Labor Day party. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to order it all in one box, and then I don't have to go to the store. I love this plan. Order today at omahasteaks.com and get an extra $30 off with promo code WIFE at checkout. That's omahasteaks.com and get an extra $30 off with promo code WIFE at checkout. Minimum purchase may apply.
I can't talk about death. It fucks me up.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying not to drink tonight.
Oh, good. We don't have to drink tonight.
I can if I want.
You can do whatever you want.
But I don't want to. I'd like to not drink in Hawaii.
Don't have to.
I can if I want.
You can watch me have Mai Tais and have a good time.
If you have a Mai Tai, I'm having a fucking
How come
Mai Tai.
I can't have a Mai Tai by myself?
Why would?
Because I mean, like,
Baby, if you
then
do
I
that,
feel
means
pressured.
You have a drinking problem.
I don't have a drinking problem.
If you have to drink by yourself.
No.
If you have to drink to have a good time.
No, what I'm saying is I
I'm
have
worried
to
about
decide whether or not I'm going to drink because I know it affects whether or not you drink. Instead of just saying, I'll have a drink, I go, okay, if I drink, then he's going to drink. And he doesn't want to drink. So if he doesn't want to drink, then I drink.
By the way, if I drink, it's my choice to drink. But
yeah, I know that.
My choice to drink with you in Hawaii would be, I want to share a drink. I love when you drink. I love getting a little buzz on you. And I love when you get like that. And I love holding hands and walking and feeling loose with you. I love all that. By the way, I'll definitely be bringing weed to Miami or to Hawaii. So I can smoke pot if I want.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Sometimes, I don't know. Pot's different. I don't know. How did we get on this answer?
Because you said, I don't want to talk about death because I don't want to drink tonight. Next question.
So we have not a caller, but just questions from Instagram.
Okay.
Someone's asking for advice on dealing with chaotic in-laws.
Ooh.
I can answer that.
Why? Do you have chaotic in-laws?
No, I was joking.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
No, I was joking.
Oh, I don't think my in-laws are chaotic. I don't know. I don't know if I would call my in-laws chaotic. Chaos is like a big word. Big personalities. I have a lot of big personalities on my in-laws, right? How do you deal with them? This is my motto. Mouth shut, nose clean. Now, that's my motto with dealing with my in-laws. Is it healthy? I don't know. I don't often feel, I just recently started feeling, and this is probably weird to hear, Bert, but I just recently started feeling like I was really part of the family. Like I just recently started feeling like, not with you, but with all the in-laws, that I was included. Like I started feeling included in a new way. I never felt excluded, but I didn't necessarily feel included because there's so many big personalities. And I don't know how to deal with them. I tend to have a lot of patience and knowing that the family dynamic I'm witnessing is not like mine. And it's not necessarily better or worse, but it is foreign to me. So for me to show up and go, well, this is how you should do it, like my family, or not like what you're doing, is not productive.
No.
That would be destructive.
Yeah.
And not destructive to the family because they would just fucking destroy you. So what's the point of that? The goal is to be embraced by this family you're entering. You're a foreign object that's entering into this solar system. So of course it's going to be kind of hard, but definitely the chaotic piece of it, I know sometimes when the hullabaloo that was happening, not with me, but within the family dynamics, I would oftentimes feel like I just need to go to the bathroom and like stay there for a little bit and kind of get myself grounded and get myself quiet to go back into when things were kind of blowing around a lot. So I think also you and I have always been able to talk about any chaos that goes on in your family. So if there's something going on with you and a sister or you and a parent, and I'm observing it, you and I have always been able to talk about it.
Yeah.
To feel like you and I are the team, and we have this like extended team that we have to deal with, but you and I are the team.
Yeah.
So I think that's really helpful, is that my partner in life didn't really remain on that team. You teamed up with me, and then we went to visit that team from time to time. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I think that was really helpful. So if you feel like you're in alignment with your partner, then it's a lot easier to weather the chaos of the in-laws.
Just, your partner is noticing the chaos.
And if your partner is not noticing the chaos, or your partner is not staying lined up with you, I don't have any advice for you. That would make me insane. Any of the times when you and I haven't been on the same page about your parents, it's much harder. Or your sisters, or whatever the drama is. It's much harder when we're not on the same page.
I think what I do when I go to LeeAnn's family, and LeeAnn's family is only chaos because so many people show up if we're there.
It's just so many people.
I just take care of me.
Yes.
I take care of me. I do things I want to do. I go for a jog when I want to go for a jog. I spend time with the girls. If I don't have space for the girls, meaning if I'm not allowed in that space because family's taking up that space, I understand that they'll come to me. They're my daughters. And they don't get to see these people, and these people are their chaos is a sense of trying to cram all these memories into 1 week.
Yes.
And so I go, then let's take care of Bert. What's Bert want to do?
Right.
I'm gonna go paddleboard for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go. I love going for runs when we're in Alabama.
I know.
I love going for a nice long run and going, no one needs me. The chaos will be there when I get back. Walk in. Don't take anything personal. Sometimes
that's true for anybody on the planet.
Personal.
Don't take anything personally.
They're saying shit from their fucking life that you had nothing to do with.
Yep.
And if you I'll tell you the perfect one. If I ended up in the kitchen at LeeAnn's house, and that was a turn of the century kitchen where the women ran that kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
No man ever stepped foot in that kitchen.
Yeah.
And in our house, I am in the kitchen and LeeAnn is not.
Yes.
Like I cook. I love cooking.
Yes.
And they would almost slap my wrists as I went into that kitchen. And I was like, okay, I'll wait till everyone's done, and then I'll start cut tomatoes the way I want to cut tomatoes.
Yep. Yeah, it's so funny. I hadn't thought about that. Now you just cook all the time there, and everybody
now
loves
I cook
it.
for everyone.
Yeah, everybody loves it when you cook.
Yeah.
Because you're a better cook than I am. I don't know. Being on the same page with your partner, I think, is the big key to weathering the chaos of in-laws. Let's do one more if there's any more. Just one more.
One more.
Well, we have lots of Instagram questions. So
okay, we'll do one more and we'll
one.
save the rest.
Yeah.
Sure. My sex drive is higher than my fiance's, and he rejects me a lot. What should I do?
Well, I think we had that in opposite after we had kids. Your sex drive was a lot higher than mine. And again, talking to your partner was really important. Being open and honest about how you felt. I think you were very honest about how you felt about that. And I was honest too. I was like, I feel like your libido's at 10 and mine's at 4.
Yeah.
And it's nothing to do with you. I'm just at a 4. So how do I get to like a 6 and you get down to an 8 and now we're kind of closer to each other? We had that conversation for years. And was it perfect? I don't think it was perfect.
No.
But I think it was.
There was a lot of times where we had sex where you'd give me a look like I was trying on shoes. You'd be like, cool, do those fit? Awesome. And I'd be like, I don't think she's that into it. But you were generous enough to give me the sex.
Right.
Like that's the other part is that LeeAnn never, there would be, I remember one time I said to LeeAnn, we never have sex more than once a week. She's like, you're like, once a week's a lot. And I was like, I know, but I want to have it more. And you say things like, I'll try to have sex again in a week. And you'll say, you got yours. And you go, I never say that. And then one night
I said it like once, maybe.
No, you said it all. You said it all the time.
No.
And then one time you caught yourself saying it and you stopped yourself in the middle. And I smiled so fucking hard.
You did.
You got yours.
You got yours.
I don't know. I'll tell you the other thing.
Have his testosterone checked.
Yeah, have his testosterone checked. Because if he's on testosterone the way I am, my dick gets hard when the wind blows.
Well, he may have an imbalance like that, and that does affect his libido. A person's libido is affected directly by their testosterone levels, male or female. So that's definitely something to have checked. But I don't know. As long as you're communicating about it, I think. But I don't know. It's a tough one.
Also, step up your game silently. Step up your game silently so that you have cards to play when this conversation shows up. Because what he's going to say is, I don't know what you're talking about. He's not going to be like, yeah, I know. It's crazy. I don't know. Something's going on with me. He's not going to say that. He's going to be like, I don't know what you're talking about. We just had sex like 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
We're always, step up your game and do sweet things and do fun things and see if you can build the cards in your deck so that when the conversation arises, he can realize, oh, it is him. I don't think LeeAnn realized that. I think she was like, I'm doing everything I can. And then once we both got on testosterone, when LeeAnn started, her libido changed immediately.
Mm-hmm.
I think she was like, I remember you were being like, am I like, is this too much?
Right.
And I was like, I've said to you, and I've said this before, I can't believe how satisfied I was with what we were doing before, considering what we have now.
Right.
I can't believe that I was like, yeah, no, a lot of times you're just going to have to and we weren't a couple where I could be like, I'm going to jerk off. And you'd be like, cool. We weren't that couple. We weren't even outwardly sexual. We would have sex, but we weren't like, it's crazy. I will say, keep the faith. It changes. It did for us.
It can change, but I think, I just read this book that's a book club book about having sex in long-term relationships and how to keep it going, so to speak. Not necessarily fresh, because that's not what he was talking about. What he was talking about really was longevity in sex life is healthy sex life. So, and have a healthy sex life, you have to build on other things besides sex, like a real strong friendship does inform a good sex life. Something else he said in the book, I haven't had the book club yet, but just based on what this caller's talking about, it's communicating about sex. What do you like? What do you not like? Hey, maybe 2 weeks for him is a lot. And maybe for you, it's ridiculously not enough. But if you don't talk about it, then how do you know?
Conversation's key.
And knowing.
Ask him if there's stuff he wants to try.
Yeah,
ask him if have a
conversation.
Literally be sitting on the couch with him and then switch over to crisscross applesauce facing him and be like, I want to try something new.
Mm-hmm.
Should we watch a video and see if there's something we should try? I distinctly remember the first time LeeAnn was like, I wonder if we should go to a it's one of those sex stores and see if we can get a toy. I fucking lost my shit. And I was like, well, granted, it came from her. So that would be like if it's coming from your husband, your fiance.
Yes.
But also, I always say this, but step up your game. Meaning like I noticed that LeeAnn and I would have sex the less I drank and the more I worked out. Like there was something a little sexier about me when I was working out or when I was taking care of myself. Mm-hmm. So like, I don't know. I mean, get a pair of good looking shoes. LeeAnn bought a new bathing suit that she had a lot of ass showing today. And it was like, second she put it on, I went crazy. Like there's, men are fucking very visual, very, very visual.
Well, yeah, I think I agree with all that you're saying. I think that you should, here's something that Dr. Phil said a long time ago that stuck with me. If your sex life is working, it's 10% of your marriage. If it's not working, it's 80. So if it's working, it's not something you think about like that much because it's working. But if it's not working, it's something you think about a lot. So if you think about something a lot, what you focus on grows, sort of. So having the talk, having a real good talk, not a serious talk, not a like, hey, what's going on? Are we in trouble talk? But a fun, playful, like, I'm feeling these things. What are you feeling? Like a fact-finding mission instead of like, is something wrong? A curiosity-driven
we know what we need to do. We need to have these
conversation.
callers call in where we can
Ask some questions
investigate
also?
them. I want to investigate her.
Like, what does she think having sex
I'm
regularly
curious,
is? Is it like, every day?
I'm curious about that. I'm curious, like, what does it look like when she hits on him? Like maybe.
Well, yeah.
Maybe it's not. Maybe it's like I did it to you today when I was like, you were like, oh, the plumber's coming. I said, when? You were like 30 minutes. And I was like, oh, I was thinking we could. And you were like, well, maybe if you flirted with me. I was like, hold on, that's not what I'm doing right now. I'm saying to you, I didn't know the plumber's coming and I was going to flirt with you. I'm telling you now, the plumber's coming. That bums me out, but I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, I'm looking at my watch right now. I'm not looking at like what I was about to do.
Yeah.
What I was about to do was flirt with you so that we could fool around. But but old school Bert used to be like, yo, can we bang one out?
Yes.
And so that wasn't very sexy.
No.
I wasn't. And even time, there were times I have to say that I would hit on you and you'd be like, not tonight.
Yes.
And I would be like, okay. And then I got to a place where I told you, I'm not going to hit on you to get shot down by my wife. Like I'm not getting shot down by my wife. Like that's crazy.
Well, it's also okay to be shot down by your wife as long as it doesn't become super crazy, regular, and problematic.
Yeah.
For me to have one night where I go, I'm not in the mood, can't just destroy you.
One night.
But another thing the book said, which I thought was really interesting, was the book club book that I read was that it's good to just start out to get used to being naked together, right? To sleep naked together or to be in bed and watch TV naked and not expect sex for either person, to just see where the night led to. Maybe you just fall asleep. Maybe you cuddle. Maybe you have sex. But if people are kind of off in a ditch, to just regularly go to bed naked. So you've like already taken like whatever, we're open for whatever happens here. And if something happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I think a lot of what he was saying in the book is when you get into like, let's watch porn or let's get into all these toys and you think that is the answer.
No, it's not the answer.
It's not the answer.
Not the answer.
But being open, like just going to bed naked. Every person is naked. Like there's no toys involved in that. It's just you and the other person and each other. And that is a very healthy way.
I can tell you what someone said to me at Colfax when we were at Colfax.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, we're not having a lot of sex. And he goes, oh, I went through that. And do you remember who this was?
No.
And I said, really? And he goes, yeah, don't touch her. Don't stop touching her. Don't give her physical contact. Stay away from her. Talk to her, but don't touch her. And after a month, she'll realize she hasn't been touched. And people crave touch. And then she'll start touching you and back off. Give her a little distance. And next thing she knows, she'll go, what's wrong with me? It gets them in their head. And then you start fucking them. I remember saying it to you, going, he said, stop touching you. And you're like, what?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, he stopped touching her. And you were like, what the fuck? Yeah. But hey, I hope you start having more sex. We started having more sex, and I will tell you, I'm so fulfilled. Yeah, there's a joke to be made here. I'm not going to make.
There's no need to make a joke. Is it a joke?
It better be a fucking joke.
That you're so fulfilled?
No, I was going to make a joke. So I'm a comedian. That's where my brain goes.
Oh,
but I
don't think you're a comedian in this space.
Yeah, I am. I'm always a comedian.
No, you're just my partner.
No, sometimes I'm brilliant.
My BFF.
BFF.
My BFF, my partner. The BFF is the basis for all good sex. I already just said it. That's what the book said.
There was a girl, never mind.
There was a girl.
I saw on Instagram today. It was so fucking, she was answering questions and it made me laugh so hard and it was so mean. But it made me laugh so hard. And I was like, God damn it.
What was mean? That you were laughing?
No, yeah, that I was laughing because the thing when they said about her or to her was mean. And it hurt her feelings, but it made me laugh. And I was trying to, that's why I didn't tell the joke.
Oh, gotcha.
Because I was like, it was a mean joke about you.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then I was like, that's not fucking right.
Mean is never really
I hope
funny.
you start having more sex.
Yeah,
I hope
too.
you start having more sex.
Me too. I hope we answered your
By the way, he
question.
may just be going through a phase right now where he's like, so this is it. I'm getting married.
And also figure out, yes, that's a very good point. What's going on for him? Is there something, some extenuating circumstance going on in his life that might affect his libido? I don't know. Does he have financial trouble? Is he not happy in his job? Is he like gaining weight and he feels bad about his body? Is he having trouble with his, family? I don't know. Is there something else going on? Because sometimes if you have something heavy going on, libido is not really your focus for some people.
Yeah.
For some people, they escape into sex, and for some people, they withdraw from it, depending on what's going on in their life. So I don't know what else he may have happening. But anyway, thanks for the question.
This is what I'd say. Make him a cocktail tonight, put in a butt plug, and then turn around and show him the butt plug and be like,
wag the butt plug.
Do you even know what a butt plug is?
Yes, I know what a butt plug is.
We should get one.
I don't want one. Are we going to put it in your butt?
I'll put it in my butt if you put it in your butt.
I'm not putting it. Ew.
Not the same one.
Share?
No, two different ones, matching ones.
No, I'm not putting a butt plug in. No.
No, I'm not putting a butt plug in.
No. If you fart, it will shoot it across the room. Is that what it does?
I don't know. I've never had a butt plug in.
What is the purpose of it?
It's to get you ready for anal sex.
Yeah, I will not be doing that.
Anal sex or butt plug?
Neither. Thank you. Pass.
Okay. Well, thanks for your call. I hope you have a good. I hope you figure it out. And thank you, everyone. Go ahead. It's your podcast.
Yes. Thanks. Thank you, everyone who's called. And and we'll give it to the more questions, the ones on Instagram next episode. But we've been talking for a while. So thanks for joining me for this podcast.
Of course. And I think
it.
you need to switch it up. I think you got to do Georgia next.
Everybody seems to like when we talk. I think they like hearing us talk because we're married. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why'd you have that reaction?
I don't know. I mean, sometimes I wonder if it helps at all. Like I go, I'm pretty broken. Like I'm pretty fucked up.
I'm pretty broken too.
I know. Well, hopefully you're as broken as we are because we're just broken people talking to broken people.
Just trying to figure it out.
Just trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
The whole thing is, how do you wake up Monday morning smiling ear to ear?
There you go.
How do you wake up Monday morning smiling ear to ear? It's Friday night for us.
Yep.
And I'll tell you how my ear to ear smiles. If I can have a bunch of great coffees with some fucking relaxed moments with my eyes closed in the backyard and have a great fucking weekend, sleep good, learn a couple things, laugh twice really fucking hard, get in the pool maybe 3 times and have sex once, that's a great fucking weekend.
I love that weekend. I would like that weekend too. I would also like to go to the beach.
Let's go to the beach.
But I like that weekend. All right. Thanks guys for listening.
Thank you guys. I
Till
love you,
next
LeeAnn.
time. I love you too.